Habari Gani and Ndugu na Dada. This is your brother, your Ndugu, Abu Amin Ra, coming at you to provide you a little historical information that some of you are in need of at this particular time, while the Indians are struggling against the white man in Northwest USA. My brothers, sometimes a little historical information will put you on the right track and help you make proper decisions. Are you aware that in 1824, there were 1,277 slaves being held among 15,560 Cherokees? Are you aware that in 1861, 25,000 Choctaws and Chickasaw Indians owned more than 5,000 black slaves? Are you further aware that in a treaty at Fort Smith, Arkansas in September 1865, the Choctaws and Chickasaws were paid $300,000 by the USA government for a district of lands west of the 98-degree longitude? Essentially, the treaty provided that the U.S. government paid the Choctaw and Chickasaw legislatures $300,000 plus 5% interest for the land, contingent upon the Indians drafting laws and rules to free all their black slaves and give each black slave and their descendants 40 acres of land from each nation. So in addition to the 80 acres or 40 acres that have been given to each slave, each tribe was to give each slave $1 per capita. That's $1 per capita per year per person. Can you imagine the compounded interest would amount to in 2016? This treaty further stipulated that should the Indian legislature not craft these laws for black slaves within a 2-year time period from the ratification of the treaty, the $500,000 shall cease to be held in trust for the Indians and given instead to their slaves. Are you also aware that a contingency of ex-slaves went before the government, the USA government, shortly after the release from physical slavery, and complained that the Indians had never given them their 40 acres of land or the $1 per capita per each person yearly? Are you also aware that these Indians told black folks to go to hell essentially because we have never received our reparations from them? Our 40 acres of land, plus $1 per capita for these thousands of Indians, black people they held in slavery? Now, get to this. The American government provided the Indians reparations, gave them casinos, gave them lands, gave them monies, allowed them to be a separate nation so they could deal with them on that level. And the Indians have never done anything for us. I take that back. One tribe, the Seminoles in Florida, fought the Second Seminole War about a wife of Osceola, who was a chief, who was an African woman. She had been kidnapped by the white people and put back in slavery. So Osceola went to war with them. But that's something personal. That's on an individual level. Listen, my brothers and sisters. We do not owe the Indians anything. They owe us. Are they struggling to help us get reparations? They got their reparations. Now, this is not a put down on the Indians. I'm just giving you historical facts to help you make your decisions about defending and struggling with the Indians as they struggle against the white man presently in Northwest USA. You can do what you want to do on an individual level. Don't try to convince black people to go stand up for the Indians. We shouldn't stand up for anybody who does not stand up for us. If they do not struggle with us for what we are struggling for, they can go to hell, each and every one of them. support must be a two-way street. They must support us in our struggles if they expect us to support them in their struggle. Otherwise, Indian, you're on your own, just like you leave us on our own. Do your thing, my brothers and sisters in Northwest USA. Now, if we sign some papers that you're going to struggle with us every time we struggle, and we sign a blood oath and make a blood oath, we'll struggle with you. Because if you do not keep that blood oath with us, we're going to wipe you out ourselves. That's the only way. The only way. I am going to recommend, and I'm nobody, but I'm going to personally recommend that any black person support and struggle with the Indians as they struggle with the white man in the USA. Do you get my message, brothers and sisters? If you don't support me, you don't get my support. Plain and simple. Once again, Hotep Induga Nadada.